half of my face was totally swollen. In fact, the paramedics thought I had totally broken my eye socket.
My gosh, all because she tripped on a broken sidewalk here in San Diego. It doesn't matter where you live in the city, the sidewalks here are falling apart. And the city is paying big bucks to settle some injury claims. Team 10 investigator Allison Ash added up all those injuries, the complaints and the payouts. And so why don't we just pay to fix these sidewalks? What's the issue?
Well, it's easier said than done at this point. The city of San Diego is so far behind in fixing its crumbling infrastructure that it'll take years. In the meantime, though, people continue to get hurt.
In front of me, my face hit the ground first.
The payout for that trip on this buckled sidewalk? $12,000.
Hit it, and I went soaring.
That cost the city $7,500 plus expenses.
So my right foot just hit it. I felt, boom, the next thing I know, I'm down.
Her fall resulted in a bruised, swollen, broken ankle. 6 months after the fall, the lawyers are still working out a payout. These women aren't alone. In the past 5 years, San Diego paid more than $1.7 million to people who were injured by this. Sidewalks that jut up out of the ground or are crumbling into hazards.
Yeah, so we're walking right along here.
Deborah McDonald took us back to the section of Rosecrans where suddenly 2 years ago,
Curb jumped at me and I was down on the ground.
face plant.
Face plant, yeah.
She spent the night in UCSD's trauma center and couldn't believe it when the city refused to do anything more than put an asphalt patch on the spot where she fell. She sued to get it fixed properly.
I went flying in the air. I absolutely knew I was not touching ground anywhere. I threw my arm up to protect my face. I smashed down and I shattered my elbow.
Deborah Haygood showed us her scars after she fell on this Kearny Mesa sidewalk. It has since been patched.
Excruciating comes to mind.
Team 10 searched city records for the past 5 years and found 18,463 sidewalk complaints. Shouldn't taxpayers expect their sidewalks to be walkable?
Of course they should. Absolutely.
Councilman Mark Kersey chairs City Council's Infrastructure Committee. He says it'll cost $40 million to fix all 5,000 miles of sidewalks.
Unfortunately, we're dealing with decades of neglect. So trying to catch up on that neglect is obviously going to take longer, I think, than any of us would prefer.
Until then, the payouts are likely to continue.
And that is simply not okay. Something has to be done.
Something is being done. The city is putting aside more money in next year's budget, but it's going to take several years to fix this problem. Now, here's a fun fact for you. The average sidewalk repair costs about $3,100, but the average payout after somebody falls is more than $13,000.
Oh.
And that money comes right out of taxpayers' pockets.
Unbelievable. I don't want to make light of this, but a lawyer could make just a career out of something.
And there
like
are
this.
some who do.
All right, so we have already talked about a hotline where we could talk about potholes. What about sidewalks?
Well, same thing. You go to the city's website, and we've got a link for you with my story on 10news.com. You can go to that website, and you can complain. It's called, I can't remember what it's called.
Okay,
Get
well,
it done.
it'll
Get
be
it
on
done,
Get It
San
Done.
Diego. That's what it's called.
It's on our website. Thank you. Eye-opening figures. Thank you, Allison.